Well, in some good news, Victoria Alonzo, Vice President of Diversity, Inclusion, and Destruction of Franchises over at Marvel,
He ain't lying.
was just handed her walking papers by one Bob Iger. I'm sure there are those who are going to call Iger a sexist.
Yes! Yes!
But no, it's just that Victoria sucks.
You serious?
I'm Chaz Bergonzo, and this is What's Next. What's up, everyone? Chaz Bergonzo. What's Next? Your daily dose, common sense, facts, and salt. Hope you guys are doing well on this Tuesday. Beautiful day here in the East Coast, and hopefully it is where you're at. Marvel and Disney. Remember when they were going to team up and great things were going to happen? We saw the Thanos arc, amazing movies, visually stunning, storytelling, very, very good. I miss, there were a couple of speed bumps, Captain Marvel and what have you. But it's got to get better, right? Can it get better than the Thanos arc? Well, turns out to be not the case. We saw with Phase 4 when it went woke, and then Phase 5 turned into trash. One of those people, along with, of course, Kevin Feige, and fingers will be pointing at him as well, is one Victoria Alonzo. Yes, Vice President Victoria Alonzo. She was given the boot by one Bob Iger. Yeah, because of issues. This coming out of Bounding on Comics. Victoria Alonzo reported out of Marvel Studios after Disney CEO Bob Iger called into question quality issues at Marvel, and Ant-Man and Wasp: Quantumania failed at the box office. A new report claims that Marvel Studios Vice President Victoria Alonzo is no longer part of the company. No, she's fired. Less than a month after Walt Disney CEO Bob Iger called into question the quality of recent Marvel Studio films and TV series, and most recently, Ant-Man and the Wasp: Quantumania collapsed at the box office. The Hollywood Reporter reports Alonzo exited the company on Friday, but for the reasons are unclear. Alonzo joined Marvel Studios in 2006 as chief of visual effects and post-production and was a co-producer in 2008's Iron Man. She would also go on to co-produce Iron Man 2, Thor, Captain America: The First Avenger, before becoming an executive producer on The Avengers. Side note, they were all very good films, box office smash hits, nothing to do with her. In 2021, she had recently been promoted to president of physical and post-production, visual effects, and animation production. Yes, let's make up titles, throw it against the wall, and see what sticks. Alonzo's exit comes as Marvel Studios' most recent release, Ant-Man and the Wasp: Quantumania collapsed at the box office according to the numbers. The film so far has grossed $205 domestic, $256 international, for a total of $462 globally. This past weekend, the film only grossed a little over $4 million domestically. It also played in 455 less theaters. Given the current trajectory, I think likely the film will top the unadjusted totals for Ant-Man and the Wasp. That film grossed $216 domestic, $406 international, $623 global. In fact, it might not even surpass the unadjusted totals for the first Ant-Man film. Ant-Man grossed $186 domestic, $338 international, global gross $518. Not only does Alonzo's exit come amid one of the worst performing Marvel Cinematic Universal films to date at the box office with audiences, but also comes amid the Walt Disney Company CEO Bob Iger calling into question the quality of Marvel films and TV series. Iger spoke recently at Morgan Stanley conference where he said, "What we have to look at Marvel is not necessarily the volume of Marvel storytelling, but how many times can we go back to that well, drain it dry, how many times can we beat that dead horse?" He continued, "Sequels typically work well for us, but do you need a third or a fourth, for instance, or is it time to turn to other characters? There's nothing in any way inherently off in terms of Marvel brand. I think we just have to look at what characters and stories we are mining. Translation, stop the fucking sequels." And if you look at the trajectory over Marvel over the next 5 years, you'll see a lot of newness, Iger added. Now we're going to turn back to the Avengers franchise, but with a whole set of different Avengers as an example. Don't know how that's going to turn out. I can only say it's bad. Iger then briefly discussed Star Wars before pointing to the quality of films and TV shows being produced under Disney's big brands. He said, there's so much consumer choice right now, and it comes back to what does it differentiate? The one thing, obviously, we have to talk about is those brands. Star Wars, Marvel, Disney, Pixar, for instance. But quality is also a differentiator. Quality. Right now, It's the lack of. I think HBO proved that well, in their Alex Allen days, when high quality programming made a big difference and not volume, he added. And because the streaming platforms require much more volume, one has to question whether that's the right direction to go. Or if you can just be more curated, more, I use the word judicious a few times, but I guess more picky about what you're making and not concentrate on quality, not quantity. Another factor that could be at play, Alonzo's comments directed at former CEOs Bob Chapek during an appearance at GLAAD Media Awards, of course, let's show up at the Alphabet Awards. While accepting an award, Alonzo said, if you are a member of the Alphabet community and you work at Disney, the last 2 or 3 weeks have been a sad event. Slamming Bob Chapek, I asked him to look around, and truly, if we sell is entertainment for the family, and we don't choose what family. Family is the entire room. Family is the family in Texas, Arizona, Florida, and my family and my home, she said. Take a stand on all these crazy outdated laws. Take a stand for family. Well, of course, that little comment was directed at one Governor Ron DeSantis in Florida, where he passed the Parental Rights Act, basically saying, yeah, you know what? Keep your sexuality to yourself. Do not be discussing it with 3, 4, 5, 6, 7, 8, 9, and 10-year-olds. But you don't tolerate us. We deserve the right to live, love, and to have. More importantly, we deserve an origin story, Alonzo professed. Oof. Chills. After pointing out a member of the audience named Max, Alonzo then declared, I encourage all of you to stop being silent. Silence is death. Ooh. Silence is poison. But if you don't stand up, if you don't fight, if you don't give your monies to me, and if you don't vote, then we all can do is have a party and be gay. Fight, fight, fight. As long as I'm at Marvel Studios, I will fight for representation for all of us, she proclaimed. Well, you don't have that problem anymore, do you? My thoughts. First, with Kevin Feige. Bob Iger, I guarantee you that after letting Alonzo go, he made a phone call to Kevin Feige saying, yeah, things need to change up. I'm just speculating here, assuming here. Things need to change up, Kevin. We need to have more quality and not quantity. I don't want to see 15 sequels of the same fucking character. I want new characters introduced, not shitty ones like Eternals, or Shang-Chi, or awful Black Widow movie, or Doctor Strange and Multiverse and all that shit. All that movie, all that shit is behind us now. We got to focus on real characters and storyline. Now, that would be me saying that. You want to hope that Iger said something similar to that to get the message across to Feige. To Victoria Alonzo, sucks to be you, doesn't it? Yeah, don't let the door hit you on the ass on the way out. Is this going to improve the quality of Marvel films? We don't know. We're going to see when the next Avengers movie comes out, and I'm sure it'll be all woman laced and what have you, and it'll be all, anti-man and, anti-whiteness and what have you. But as long as you have shit like this continue, we've already seen it. Audiences won't go to the movie theaters to see Marvel trash. Same goes with DC. They won't buy the comic books. They won't buy the merchandise because the fans have been slighted. The fans have been slapped. The fans have been spit upon by the likes of those like Alonzo and the ass clowns at these studios. But at the end of the day, we control it because we have the money in our pockets. And if you withhold the money, they can't make shit. But then again, they don't care about money anymore. It's all about the agenda. And with that being said, I'm Jazz Barganzo. This is What's Next. Want to see more just like this, please leave a comment below, like it, share it, subscribe to it. Make sure you hit that notification bell so you guys never miss a thing. And we'll see you next time. Peace.